My name is Jaime Puente, and I am a product of both public and private schools. I am currently a doctoral student in the Department of American Studies at UT Austin. And we're here again on a Tuesday to discuss another racist and anti-American piece of legislation. ESAs, or vouchers by another name, have historically been the method by which white supremacy and school segregation was articulated as a reaction to the civil rights movement. You may use ideology to justify supporting this bill, which, as Senator Taylor admits, will serve only a tiny fraction of Texans. You cannot, however, choose an alternate historical reality rather than the racism behind the very idea of vouchers. The transfer of money from the American and, yes, Jeffersonian public school system to private individualized school markets, quote unquote, is by far one of the most dangerous threats to our democracy. Our founding fathers understood the importance of a state-funded and maintained school system to the preservation of our union because, as John Adams said, it provided general knowledge among the people. The a la carte fantasy being peddled here today is the opposite of what our founding fathers recognized as a necessary tool for the preservation of democracy. And that is most evident at my own alma mater. I am a product of the oldest Catholic boys' school in Texas, and I know firsthand the anti-American ideology a school like St. Thomas can produce. Some of you might be friends with anti-LGBTQ bigot Stephen Hotze, an STH alumni whose name is shamelessly emblazoned on the school's football stadium. His equally bigoted nephew, Bruce Hotze, was my classmate. I could not imagine being a young LGBTQ man at St. Thomas today and having to come to terms with the hateful person lauded by the institution that proclaims goodness, discipline, and knowledge. But I know very well the racism I dealt with for 4 years by my, quote, legacy peers like the Hotzes. There is nothing good, disciplined, or knowledgeable about the hate Hotze peddles and St. Thomas condones, and as Senator Betancourt affirmed, it's what is done with education after graduation that matters. By this measure, the Hotzes and Nazi-sympathizing Richard Spencer of St. Mark's in Dallas of Texas do not deserve to be subsidized by tax-paying citizens of Texas. Reject this bill.
Thank you for your testimony, but I beg to differ with your comments, especially when you say friends of white supremacists, bigots.
No, I said friends of Stephen Hotze.
Finish. I got the floor. You had your say. And I'm surprised at your tone of being such an educated man because...
It's the truth, Senator.
I still have the floor here. You have some very divisive type remarks.
It's the truth.
Well, I'm going to then have someone escort you out if you don't let me finish. I listen attentively to you. I don't consider anyone in this panel a white supremacist, a bigot of any kind. This is my 31st year here, and I've worked with men and women from every corner of the state. Senator West is as well respected as anyone else here.
How did I get in
You're a minority. You're a minority. And he was referring to that. He was referring to that. And you know what? Yeah. You have a right to express yourself. But I just want to tell you, that's not what I found here. This man is the last thing from being a white supremacist or a bigot, okay? I know him better than you do. So I thank you for your testimony.
Respectfully, Senator?
No, you're not. I haven't recognized you. I have not recognized you. Members, I thought I gave you the first choice.
You did, but you took the first choice, and I'm glad you did, quite frankly. To my most experienced members of the panel, Robin, you basically said that you had gone through the process of public school to Catholic private schools to homeschooling, and you exercised choice. What you missed was there weren't charter schools back then, I guess.
Well, there may have been.
There may have been, but you exercised choice for your children. And sir, I forgot your name on the other side.
Robert Castañeda.
Robert, you eloquently talked about moving yourself from charter to private to public. And you made a great statement that you said the freedom to choose as for the parents supersedes the right of the government to assign. And I want to thank you both for your experience and for that common sense wisdom.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else, members? Thank you to the panel for your testimony.
Let me say something since I was,
Senator West?
again,
LULAC, MALDEF, and NAACP is against this bill.
It's fine.
All civil rights organizations of high standing in this country. Okay?
Thank you. I'm going to recognize you one more time. I wanted to ask you a question a while ago, and I
Yes, sir.
slipped my old mind. Go
Okay.
ahead.
No problem, sir. I just wanted to make an additional comment. The gentleman to my right made a reference about the Founding Fathers and talked about the freedoms and all. And we talked about in the Constitution, all men are created equal. But yet we have to remember that these Founding Fathers also were slave owners.
That's right.
Thank you.
Next panel. Thank you very much for your testimony. Tammy Keelan, Julia Love,